exploring the intersection of automotive passion and the industry that shapes our world. This is Rides and Real Estate.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Rides and Real Estate. This is episode number 4. Actually, the first time I'm actually filming this outside of the normal setting that you guys are used to in the studio where you see the blue lighting and so forth. We're actually inside of a conference room in Atlanta. I'm actually in town for Lexus Performance Driving School.
The control, the precision.
I'm accompanied with Mr. Steve Ryder, a great friend of mine.
Yes.
We actually met in the car community, and it just so happens he also is a real estate agent himself. So he has an amazing story to tell as a realtor in the business, like way longer than I have been. So you guys are going to get a lot of value out of this, 100%, but we're also going to stick to the theme of Rides and Real Estate. After all, it's the marriage of the industry that I said the catchphrase backwards, actually. The way I said it in the previous episodes, it's the exploring the intersection of automotive passion and the industry that shapes our world, and that's real estate.
Love it.
And the crazy thing about that statement is, we were just talking about this before I hit the record button. AI helped me come up with that catchphrase.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Believe it or not. Now,
I don't think there's anything that AI can't do.
yeah, I get a lot of inspiration from AI, but I don't like copy and paste things. I get help with using AI, and I recommend doing the same for yourself. But before we get into a deep conversation about what you do and what you've done in the real estate world, give a little introduction of yourself, man.
Oh. How
we met. I think it's a cool story of how we met as well.
Yeah, we met at Sebring. Actually, it was right as I think you were getting your license, or you just had gotten your license.
Yeah, that was I think November of 2020.
Yeah.
And I literally just got my license in July of 2020.
Yeah.
So it's fresh in the game.
Yeah, so we were at Sebring for the 12-hour race, and it was my first 12-hour Sebring race. It was my first year having the RCF, and we just struck up a conversation, and real estate tends to kind of weave and wind its way into conversations no matter who you're talking to.
Yeah.
So
especially when you have nice cars, it just kind of comes up naturally.
Yeah, right? I mean, it just kind of flowed from one thing to the next. So, yeah, it was pretty cool.
So you've been in the real estate game for a long time. We were talking about over dinner earlier today.
Yeah.
Since 2004.
Yep.
I was just my second year of high school.
Yeah, I'm an old guy.
Putting an age on both of us.
Yeah.
But even for some people consider me old as well, but whatever. So what was it like doing real estate back then in 2004? Before social media, technology, it was definitely a grind back then, was it not?
Yeah, it was a lot different back then with the way you prospected, the way you marketed. Social media was just kind of coming into the picture at that point.
Yeah.
I'll back up a little bit. My wife and I were married in 1999, but we met in 1996 in a chat room on AOL. That was the first social media, if you want to call it that.
It's been in a chat room.
Yeah, we met
in 96, you guys.
We literally met in a chat room.
Online dating was a thing in the 90s, guys.
It was. So we met. But with real estate, in 2004, there wasn't your Zillows and your Realtor.coms and all of that. So, it was very much an MLS-driven sphere of influence type thing. Who you know, who you talk to, who you're willing to talk to.
Yeah.
It was definitely a whole different game back then than it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But the principles are still the same. You gotta hump it. You gotta get after it. You gotta talk to people. You gotta get out there and put yourself out there.
Yeah.
It's no different.
It's very exact same thing that I'm doing nowadays, but
yeah.
It's on the internet.
It's on the internet. It's just a different way of getting yourself out there.
Because back then, the marketing is mailers, door knocking, all that kind of stuff.
Well, we talked at dinner earlier. I told you how lean we run the business now. And
Right.
the reason why we run it lean is because we don't have to spend money on the marketing tools, the mailers, the flyers, the just sold or just listed postcards and things like that.
But you did all that in the early stages of your
I had to do
career.
all that back in those days for sure, because that's the way you got it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, nowadays, you've done a lot of legwork to build up your book of business.
Yep.
Now it's pretty much on cruise control, more or less.
More or less, yeah. I mean, honestly, people think you got to have a huge database to do this, and you really don't. Our database, I call it our A-list. We have an A-list database.
Yeah.
That's 220 people right now. It's around 220 people of our A-list. Those are people that we have either done business with before or done multiple type or transactions with.
Yeah.
Or people that have referred us business at some point that maybe we haven't done a transaction with.
Right.
So you don't really need that many people. As long as you're touching those people in a systematic way and letting them know that you're still here, that's all that matters.
Yeah. And it's feeding your real estate business, and you're still doing deals. Like how many deals a month are you averaging right now?
We're probably averaging 2 to 3 a month, and my wife is part of the team as well. She is the buyer's agent of the team. I'm the listing specialist.
Yeah.
Now, she doesn't do a whole lot of listing stuff, but I help her with the buyers sometimes. Right now, she's not that busy because buyers are just not that prevalent. They're just not out there. But we used to average somewhere between 5 and 6 a month when our average sales price was a lot lower. And now we don't have to do that. I'm not saying that we're sitting around on our couch watching Netflix all day.
Yeah.
But we don't need to sell 6 properties to do what we were doing 5-6 years ago.
Right. Yeah, we talked about it at dinner. Like last year, I did actually less transactions, but I did more volume.
Yeah.
My average, sale price, average house price was higher. So I made more, but I did less.
Yeah.
So that's I guess the double-edged sword of real estate nowadays. We can work a lot less and make more money, but then who are the people that are hurting in this market? It's buyers.
The buyers. Yeah, we actually have been tracking. I've been tracking our business ever since I got into real estate. But I have a spreadsheet that goes all the way back to 2008, and when I look at that spreadsheet, it tracks everything from the sales price, the average the commission for that, the GCI. It tracks everything, even what I paid our MLS, which makes me sick.
Back then?
No, now.
Oh, now. It's gone up. Inflation.
No, we have 2 MLSs in this area. Georgia MLS, I pay them $240 a year straight, and I have for 15 years.
Yeah.
FMLS is owned by a group of brokers. I paid them last year almost $10,000 for the same thing I'm getting from the other one.
Why?
$10,000. Because it's based on, what I pay them is based on the sales price. So it's 0.0012 of the sales price. So if I sell a $500,000 house, it's 500,000 times 0.0012, and that's the check I have.
It's a commission split.
It's a commission split. But here's the thing. Since it's owned by a group of brokers, they turn that money back into the brokerages. So every broker that's a member of FMLS gets a check every month from FMLS. Our brokerage puts it back into our pockets.
I see.
That's
interesting, yeah. In Tampa, there's nothing like that. It's just a flat fee every quarter. You just pay your dues, and that's it. Which reminds me that I do have to pay my dues.
You might want to do that
in a couple of weeks.
You might want to do that if you want to keep your license.
Yeah.
So that took you down a little bunny trail there, but it's we have an FMLS that's one of them's a racket and the other one's not. So
yeah. So we met at a racing event, Lexus Racing. Let's talk about that for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's been interesting to see that Lexus really has made a name for themselves in the racing community. Even though that you go out in the public, people don't know what an RCF is, right? They still don't know. It's not really a household name, but Lexus has really made a name for themselves, and it's exciting to see the progression since we met. Because in 2020, they didn't place at all.
No.
I think the year before that, 2019, 2018, they were like way down.
They were, They were the lowest of the low as far as the points and everything. They hadn't built a name for themselves yet. And the team was just getting going. Back then they had AIM that was part of the Vassar Sullivan team, and I think it was 21 or 22, maybe it was 21 when AIM left, and then it just became Vassar Sullivan. So I think it seems like at that point is when they really turned things around and started building the team that they have now.
Yeah.
And it's funny, I was talking to Mike Forsyth about this, a mutual friend of ours, and I said, it just seems like every time I go to a race, I see the same guys on the pit crew. It's like they never have any turnover.
Yeah.
And he said, it's because they love each other.
It's family.
It's family. They
F is
so
for
well.
family.
That's right. That's what
Is
Jack
there
said.
F on it?
That's what Jack said, right?
Yeah. In that commercial.
Yeah.
Speaking of the commercial, let's talk about it a little bit. For those of you who don't know, most of you probably don't know, Steve is the star of the Lexus commercial that was actually filmed right around the corner from here. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it was pretty fun. I don't know that I was a star. I was definitely in it.
You were in it. For a few frames, you were in it.
I was in it for a few frames. My car was seen a couple times, but you can't really tell it's my car.
Yeah.
But it was pretty fun. Mike and some other people got a group of enthusiasts together. And he didn't tell anybody what was going on. He couldn't tell anybody.
He just said it was a meet.
He just said it was a meet. And so we met out in front of the track.
Yeah.
We sat out there for about an hour and a half before they were ready for us to come in because we were waiting on it to get dark because that was the whole theme of the commercial.
Yeah.
And so when we pulled in, we saw the camera set up and we saw the car going around the track there. They were filming the track sessions of it.
Yeah.
And then we kind of all figured out exactly what was going on, and we were all excited about it. It was a pretty cool experience. We were there until probably like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Damn, that's late.
It was really late. We were all starving, but it was a fun experience, and it was good to meet some other guys that I hadn't met in the community so far.
Yeah.
And then when I first saw the commercial, and it's funny because if you go to YouTube.
I'm on YouTube right now, actually. I'm trying to find the commercial.
Go to YouTube and find the commercial. The commercial that's on YouTube is a lot longer than the one they show on TV and during the races.
Yeah. Airtime is expensive, man.
It is expensive. But I was known as the creepy guy.
Let me see if I can find it. Like, what are the tags? Because I'm
it would have been
Obsession begins with F. There it is.
Obsession begins with F.
There it is.
So, the letter F is an obsession from the beginning.
So if you don't know, that's Jack Hawksworth in the background talking.
One of the best race drivers out there.
Ever.
It's always F this and F that.
I wonder if she actually said that.
She probably did.
Until eventually, that obsession is harnessed.
Yes. Listen to that baby sing.
It's a beast.
Yeah, the commercial that aired on TV is definitely not the full length like this.
Yeah. So, back stretch at Road Atlanta.
Born on the track.
That's what you did the hot lap in, right?
Today, yep.
Everybody knows the 14 RCF.
We watched this from outside. We watched them filming this.
The S is right there.
And then on 10A there.
So you guys were on track. Oh, here it is.
That's me right there. That's me.
Oh, there's Mike.
Mike is there.
It's the power of F.
That's Mingo.
I'll tell you what, later. Obsession really begins with the obsession continues. Lexus, experience amazing.
What a commercial, man. That's actually my first time watching the full-length one.
Yeah, it was pretty cool because Jack was there and we got to interact with him, and I had some conversation time with Jack, and he's just a really down-to-earth, cool guy, and just a hell of a race driver. I mean, just a hell of a race driver.
Yeah.
I mean, the move he pulled in the last 5 minutes of Sebring was
We were there, by the way.
in front of...
At turn 1.
Oh! Big time! Jack Hawksworth on the Risi Ferrari! Daniel Serra and Jack Hawksworth side by side. The Ferrari's off! What a beautiful move from Hawksworth at the exact perfect moment. And Vassar Sullivan will be victorious in GTD Pro.
Did you see how close Sarah was there across the straight?
Turn 1, in front of the hospitality,
of us.
which I thought was just perfect.
Perfect setting for that.
I jumped off the couch, and my wife was like, what the hell is going on? So, yeah, it was great.
Yeah. That was crazy to see that in person. You know, all the Ferrari people are probably feeling pretty sour about that. But
Yes.
I think it was a fair pass.
I think it was super fair because the Ferrari didn't really leave the track until after turn one. It was his own fault. He had plenty of room.
Yeah. Hey, what you should have done was just slow down a little bit so he didn't go off track. But obviously he wasn't going to take his foot off the pedal.
He was not going to. It was 5 minutes to go, so he was ready to go.
Yeah. So how did you get exposed to F cars? Because for me, when I found out that they put a V8 in an IS, I was like,
Right.
What?
Right.
There's no way.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
And then I saw the commercial. I saw the billboard. It said like street legal ish. That was you saw that billboard?
I remember that.
I was like, dang, I gotta have that car. And I finally made the move happen in 2016.
Yeah.
But so how did you get exposed to Lexus?
So 2015, I went to an air show in Peachtree City, Georgia, where the Blue Angels were flying.
Yeah.
And the day we were there, it was so cloudy that the Blue Angels could not fly. So we waited, and you know, there's usually with air shows, if you've ever been to one, there's a lot of static displays and things like that. Well, there was a company that was there that had 2 RCFs. They were brand new at the time. Maybe it was 2016.
Yeah.
I think it was 2016.
Okay.
And they had 2 RCFs there that they were on display. So it was so cloudy the Blue Angels couldn't fly, so they actually left. They took off and left and flew back home to Pensacola. Well, they had to do something. So what did they do? They put the RCFs on the runway, just flying down the runway. They would just make pass after pass after pass, and they had people in the car. I was like, what is that? I've got to go find out what that is.
Hell of a takeover for that.
It was unreal. And that was my first exposure to the car. And then, so, you know, fast forward 4 or 5 years, I was looking to get into something out of an Acura that I was driving and was finally making enough money where I could afford
Real estate money.
Real estate money. And just started researching it. I was willing to drive or ship it wherever I needed to, from wherever I needed to get it from. Ended up finding it 30 minutes away from home.
Yeah.
It just came on the market and it was had the performance package. It had everything. I mean, it was black interior like I wanted, had the same color. So
You're on your second RCF.
I'm on my second RCF.
A lot of the people in the F community know the story behind it. Unfortunately, you did crash the first F.
I did.
But you have a new one now, a newer one, an anniversary.
New to me.
It's new to you. Yeah.
Bought it in September of last year. I had the wreck in August of last year, and had this one within 3 weeks. I was into this new one. And
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And so the insurance paid out, like everything was pretty.
Insurance was paid out a week, not even a week later.
That's actually pretty fast. It's because you were on it, huh?
I was on it.
Yeah.
I literally called the insurance company the night that I got back, and started the claim.
Okay.
So, and luckily again, this one was close by, and I was a little scared. I have a 10th anniversary edition, 2019, with the matte gray paint.
Yeah. Put it on screen right now. Nice.
And I was a little worried about the matte paint, to be quite honest with you. I talked to some people, and they said, well, it's a little hard to maintain, but it's not the case.
Yeah.
It's really not. It's pretty easy to maintain. I rarely ever wash the thing. I keep my cars immaculate, and I keep them in their garage kept, but I daily drive this 2019. But if you spray it down enough, you don't really need to wash it unless you drive in the rain.
Right.
And I know. So, the matte paint doesn't scare me.
Yeah. It did before, now it doesn't.
Right.
It's because you maintain it.
Right.
And that's the thing with anything. If you maintain it, you won't have any issues.
That's right.
Same with Lexus and Toyota vehicles. Right?
Right.
They'll last forever.
They'll last forever. And that's another reason why I'm so hung up on and just love the Lexus brand is because of the reliability. They're always at the top of the charts when you're talking about reliability. It's Lexus, Toyota, and some of the other ones.
Honda, Acura.
Acura.
Because you came from Acura before, right?
Came from Acura. Yeah.
Do you have a sporty Acura before?
I had a TSX.
Oh, TSX?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was, it wasn't fast, but it was a sporty looking car. So then when I got the RCF, it was just a whole other ballgame.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whole other ballgame.
So are you like for life? You're like, I'm an F guy, for sure.
Absolutely.
I'm excited to see what they have in store for the future. I mean, we've seen some of the leaks, right? The new race car that's coming out that hopefully will turn into a production car that we all love. That's going to replace the LC and RC. We'll see, man. I'm going to make it a goal to try and buy one. Even if it's like LFA money, I have a feeling it's going to appreciate like an LFA.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And the only thing I would have to do is convince the wife.
Yeah. Just show her the numbers of the LFA.
Exactly. That's my strategy. Right?
Luckily for my wife, I hope she's watching this right now. I already pitched her the idea. She knows that we're making it a goal to afford the new LFA, whatever they're going to call it, LFR, GRGT3,
whatever they call it,
whatever it's going to be called.
Yeah.
The new F, because there has not been a new F for a long time. It was supposed to be the LCF.
Right.
We know the story behind that.
Yep.
It got scrapped because of the pandemic. And so I guess they stopped it, and now they're developing the new race car, man. Yeah, you've seen the leak, right? The most recent leak.
I have.
We won't talk about it because it's top secret.
Can't talk about it.
Yeah.
You'll get a letter in the mail.
Let's see what else we got going on here. Unfortunately, for the podcast, we usually have the sim racing segment.
Okay.
Since unfortunately, this is the mobile version of the Rise in Real Estate podcast. So I didn't bring my simulator, unfortunately.
Well, we could go out and get in the RCF and just go around the block.
That's true.
We could do that. It'd be fun.
Yeah. But yeah, usually we do the simulator, and whoever has the best time, we have it on the leaderboard. And I don't know if you know the story yet, if you watched all the episodes yet, but the car that we chose for the official Rise in Real Estate track car, Hot Laps, is a what?
Is an RCF.
Is an RCF.
Which they finally added to
Gran Turismo.
Gran Turismo, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's a crazy story of how it happened because it was on a spin wheel.
2, 1. This is for the entire season. Oh gosh, it's stopping.
Not the go-kart. Not the go-kart.
Whoa, it's a Lexus RCF.
Of all different stock sports cars, and my first guest, Alex, spun it, landed on the RCF. Had to be the Lexus guy's podcast to land on the RCF.
Come on.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, unfortunately we can't do it, but the times, I have a feeling that if you were to do it, do you have video games, by the way?
I do, but I don't play it very much.
Do you have Gran Turismo?
No.
Oh, you don't?
I do have an older version on an Xbox, but I don't have it. I've been trying to I've been working on building a simulator. Okay. And I've put everything in my cart. Mm-hmm. Just haven't ordered it yet, and it's up to like $6,000.
Let's talk about. Oh, geez. I mean, it might be a good investment for you.
Well, again,
you're investing in your mental health, man.
Well, yeah, but here's how I posed it to the wife. This is safer than driving in the mountains in Tennessee.
100%, yeah.
Because we all know how that ended.
Yeah.
So I said, yeah, it's a little more expensive, but it's an initial investment. Mm-hmm. Then we can, then it's fine.
What's the setup looking like?
3 monitors. Mm-hmm. It's not an expensive seat. I spent more money on the wheel or going to spend more money on the wheel and the pedals. Yeah. Which I've read that's the most important thing anyway. So and then the computer that I'm using is something my brother is actually in IT. Mm-hmm. He's going to build it for me.
Oh, nice.
So that saved me a little money. Right?
Do you know which simulator software you want to use?
I don't. I haven't really nailed that down yet.
Gotcha. A lot of people talk about iRacing. Mm-hmm. Are you familiar with iRacing? Mm-hmm. There's also Assetto Corsa. Yep. That's a popular one too. Obviously Gran Turismo, we were talking about that, but Gran Turismo, in my opinion, it's a good starter. Yeah. Because it does feel pretty much like an arcade feel, even with the sim wheel and pedals and so forth. But if you really want to take it to a professional level of simulation, iRacing
is where it's at.
Probably iRacing or even Assetto Corsa would be good. But most people do iRacing.
So it'd be Gran Turismo, then Corsa, and then iRacing, basically up the ladder.
Well, the cool thing about Assetto Corsa is that you can do modifications where you can pretty much put any car in the game. Okay. iRacing, they have basically just race cars that you have to purchase. additional
Right.
software upgrade.
Right.
Whereas Assetto Corsa, whatever car you want, you can just download it and it'll be added to it.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people doing like street races, going down the highway and weaving through cars with their steering wheels and stuff. It's crazy.
Wow.
Those are the same kids that are doing those takeovers, by the way.
Yeah, well, we won't talk about that. Well, a lot of those kids, tomorrow night, after you get out across the street at Lanier's, Caffeine and Octane Lanier Speedway, you can see a lot of those kids up there doing the drifting thing. So if you want to get involved in that and go over and check that out, you can.
Oh, really?
They do it every Friday.
Are they actually drifting or are they just doing burnouts?
No, they're doing drifting.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
look it up.
Because I actually want to learn drifting, like actually learn it.
You're going to do a little bit of that tomorrow in the RCF.
Yeah.
But it's on a controlled skid pad.
Yeah.
And they're really just trying to teach you how to keep it into a drift. So it's very, very controlled. It's not, wide open track or anything like that.
Yeah, just basically controlled donuts.
Right. They actually have 2 skid pads at Road Atlanta. There's one. The one you'll be at is up in the right off the paddock, the pro paddock.
Yeah.
And then there's one in the very back at turns 6 and 7 that is a much larger one.
Yeah.
That they don't use very much.
You don't know which one we'll be using?
No, you'll be at the one on the pro paddock.
Okay.
The smaller one. It's a smaller one.
The smaller one?
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to that, the Lexus Performance Driving School. Like, which one was your favorite event? You said it was the IS500 Autocross?
Yeah, the Autocross and the IS500 was my favorite for a number of different reasons, but the main reason was I just got to pound on somebody's car that wasn't mine. And the limits, just learning the limits of that car. If you've never driven an IS500 or rode in an IS500 at speed, it's amazing how stable that car is for it being a 4-door sedan. It's pretty powerful with the V8. The drivetrain is pretty much the same as the RCF, but it's a much longer car, right? But it's amazing how well it handles at speed. And if you've done those hot laps, it really will blow you away. So in the autocross, it's a little bit different story. Obviously, you're not getting that much speed, but the brakes, the steering, the understeer is minimal. It's just crazy how well it handles.
Traction control is obviously on for the autocross, right?
Absolutely.
Because you'll be sliding all over the
No,
place.
you don't want to turn that off. Trust me, you don't want to turn the traction control off in that. But it'll really blow you away. I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on it after tomorrow, since you drive one.
Yeah, I drive one. I mean, I push the IS500 quite a bit. Spirited drives and so forth. It's my daily driver, but obviously
Different environment
in a controlled track environment where you can really go full send.
Right. And you're not worried about breaking it, because if you break it, they'll just bring another one out.
Yeah. Wait, by the way, has any of the cars broken down during your experience at the performance driving school?
Not that I remember now.
Are you surprised?
No. Not at all.
That's Lexus for you.
Not at all. The only thing I remember happening was at the track at Petite this year when we were doing hot laps.
I remember that.
And we were standing there. It was you and I think Corey was with us, another friend of ours. And I think they had a wheel nut or wheel lug come loose or something. They had to tighten it up, but then they just went on.
Yeah. I mean, that's a small thing.
Small thing.
You're not going to find the engine blowing up.
No.
All right, so we're approaching the end of this conversation here, and thanks again for taking the time.
Thanks for having
me to do this episode 4. Which, by the way, if you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Click on the bell icon. Make sure you get all notifications for this. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on TikTok, all the social media platforms. But the last segment that I like to do for Rides in Real Estate with my special guests are a rapid fire segment where it's basically this or that.
Okay.
Whatever I say, out of the 2 options, you choose, and then you can kind of and then you could kind of explain why you made that choice, or we can just keep going.
Okay.
That's the beauty of it.
Sure.
Let's do this here. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Sports car or SUV?
Sports car.
Single family or townhouse?
Single family.
Podcast or self-help books?
Podcast.
Social media or door knocking for business?
Social media.
Nice.
No question.
Door knocking was back in the day, right?
Yeah, no. I've done enough of that.
Yeah. Garage space or a stunning outdoor view?
Ooh, can I say both?
Sure, why not? You can have both.
Garage space is good.
Being out here in Georgia, it's easy to find both.
Here's the thing. If you've got garage space, you got a nice car, then you can go find your outdoor view. So I'll change my answer to garage space.
Yes.
Because I'm a car guy.
Yeah, 100%. So sim racing in VR or non-VR?
I'd say non-VR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've done in both myself, and it gets a little woozy, disorienting especially if you're not used to it.
Yeah.
Like if you ever ride those 3D rides at the theme parks, same thing. It gets you like.
I got to play with the new Apple.
Oh, the Apple, whatever it's called.
Yeah, I got a couple months ago. I got to play around with it.
Did you get motion sickness?
It's amazing. No, I don't get motion sickness, but it was just amazing how immersive that is.
But how silly do you look when you're out in public and you're just like.
I was in a controlled environment at a restaurant, and I was just walking around, and I could see everything in front of me, but I could also see what's on the screen.
So you think it's pretty cool technology then?
Absolutely cool technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll consider getting one of those.
We'll change that later on. Maybe.
Imports or domestics?
Considering I drive an import, I'll say import.
That's a good one, right?
Right.
It's a hard one because still domestic. There's some really nice domestic cars out there.
Yeah.
Taking a scenic drive or relaxing at home?
Scenic drive.
Scenic drive, absolutely.
I can relax when I'm dead.
Home theater or state-of-the-art garage?
20 years ago, I'd say home theater. Now I say state-of-the-art garage.
Yeah.
By far.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because I used to be in that industry, as a matter of fact, in the home theater industry.
Oh, really? That was
audio industry.
Your previous career?
Pre-real estate, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Drag racing or circuit racing?
Circuit racing.
All day, right? Instagram or TikTok?
I don't do TikTok, so Instagram.
Instagram, okay, fair enough. Metal roof or shingle roof?
Shingle.
Metal roof's not that common out here.
Yes and no.
Okay. Same tempo.
Yeah, we don't. It's shingles mostly.
Shingles mostly?
Yeah.
Asphalt shingles?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's all the rapid fire questions I got for you, man.
That's it?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that was easy.
That was easy.
All right.
It wasn't supposed to be hard. You did great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Maybe for future episodes, I'll make that list a little bit longer.
Oh, that's okay. That was great.
So where can people find you on social? Because obviously for people who are in the Georgia, Atlanta area who want to do real estate business with you,
yes,
you're the guy to reach out to.
I am on Instagram, a Realtor Boy, believe it or not. And then on Facebook, just look for Ryder Realty Group. My wife and I, Debbie, is my wife. She is on the team as well. We're on Facebook as Ryder Realty Group, and Steve Ryder, just R-I-D-E-R is how you spell it.
Yeah, and you do all type of real estate deals, everything from commercial to flips to you name it. You can do it.
Yeah, we do mostly residential. I don't go out looking for commercial real estate, but somehow it finds me from time to time, and I don't mind doing that. But mostly residential, and we're getting more into flips now. So
yeah. Well, there you go. There you have it, Mr. Steve Ryder, guest number 4 for Rides in Real Estate, where we explore the intersection of automotive passion and the industry that shapes our world. Peace.
Love it.